Welcome to the newest episode of Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. I'm your host, Jason Fraley, picking the brains of the top filmmakers, musicians, and artists of our time. Veteran comedian George Wallace cracks up the DC Improv next week on October 20th and 21st. He joined me to discuss his prolific career, from winning Funniest Male Stand-Up at the American Comedy Awards to starring as the witchy woman doctor in Seinfeld, which was inspired by his real lifelong friendship with Jerry Seinfeld.
Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I don't know what time it is. I know I'm happy because I'm coming to DC, the country. That's what it's saying for DC, the country.
Exactly, the country. Well, it's George Wallace time is what it is. And actually, before we get into, plugging the DC Improv show, I have to say we have a George Wallace at our station he's the sports in the sports department at WTOP. So I gotta clarify. It's not you're not that George Wallace.
Okay, now listen. Since he's in sports, I want him to do some research. Look up the last name Wallace. I think there's more Wallaces that have played sports than any other name.
Well, and one of them is your nephew, Steve Wallace, who was offensive lineman blocking for Bo Jackson in college at Auburn for the Heisman, and then winning 3 Super Bowls on the 49ers, blocking for Joe Montana, and then I guess later Steve Young, right?
You got that right. You did some good research. The Wallace is such a great name.
It really is. Unless it's The Wire, then Michael B. Jordan goes out pretty early and wears Wallace in season 1. I don't know if you saw it, but I wanted to ask, not George Wallace, the old Southern governor, not that governor, please no, but the George Wallace that works at our sports department. I think his favorite show is Seinfeld. So I think you all should do the switch. I think you should, do some sports broadcasts, and he should go on stage at the Improv. What do you think?
Wouldn't that be nice? He probably can do it. Being Seinfeld. That's another thing. A lot of people don't know that I'm the real George in the show. You probably know. I'm the one that was his roommate for 13 years. I'm the one that was best man at his wedding. I'm the one that's the father of his kids. Yeah, so best friend for 47 years. Did you not know that?
I did know that, and I was going to get to that in a minute. But once you jump there, yeah, I know that you roomed with him, right, in New York City, and you were even in the episode, the checks, where you're the doctor with which a woman, Which a woman.
That scene came by because we never did work together because we keep friendship and business separate.
Yeah.
We had that happen to a friend of mine, Gary Shelling, and his best friend, and Lewis Smith. He was on his show. They had to fire him, and Lewis was pretty pissed because he says, "You're my best friend. Why didn't you tell me something was coming down?" And they broke apart and they haven't been friends. I said, "Well, we'll never do that. That's why we've been friends for 47 years. Keep business separate." But he wanted me to do one scene because when his son was circumcised, they call it brisk. Yeah. I was holding one leg and Jerry was holding the other, which is a big honor because the grandfather is supposed to hold one leg. And I'm standing there with him, with Jerry, and the rabbi went and circumcised the baby, and the baby went crazy. But to this day, when I walk into the Seinfeld house, to this day, that boy always look at me like, I know you from somewhere.
He gets a slight pain, and he's like, "Wait a minute, that was you."
That was you. I can feel it.
I can still feel it today.
I can still feel it today.
Oh, that is so hilarious. But yeah, but also, by the way, that's a classic episode. Yeah, it's the doctor. You get distracted, right? But wait, the earlier in the episode, it's Desperado that distracts.
Desperado, that's exactly right.
Yeah, but then the other Eagles song comes on when the hospital.
You really know your shows, don't you?
Oh, I freaking love it. I love it. Well, anyway, speaking of knowing the shows, we should let our listeners know what show we're even talking about. Is at the DC Improv in DC. Legendary spots. You're going to be there October 20th and 21st. You're going to be there. Who are we with? Fellow comedians Sylvia Traymore Morrison and Chris Paul. Tell us about them. Do you know much about them?
I know much about him. I've been knowing Chris Paul since he was a little boy working at WGPC in Washington, D.C. with Donnie Simpson and Sylvia Traymore Morrison. She's the first Black female to be a writer on Saturday Night Live. She's a great impersonator. And I'm telling you something, I might not even go on stage. These comedians are so good that, I do lie. I might not even show up, to be honest. But you come to the show and you're going to see these two and you're going to go, I got my money's worth.
Yeah. And then if you want to dip out, that's fine. Or if you want to stick around for George Wallace, that's all right.
You good.
I see that you dressed up for our occasion in the nice, tuxedo and the tie. I like it.
This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. This is not for you.
I like the Braves hat, though. Who's your guy? Are you like a Dave Justice? Do you take it back to that or Chipper Jones?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm from Georgia, along Andrew Jones. Are you into sports heavily? Because somebody asked me the other day, who's my favorite Brave? It's going to be Mr. Ron Washington. You know, he used to manage the Texas Rangers, and he's our third base coach. He
Okay.
is so good, but oh, come on. We got so many guys. Ron Acuna Jr., you got, oh my God, on the first base there, you got Matt Olson. It's just so many good guys on the Atlanta Braves. It's just, it's nice when you have a good team in town and people love, but I am really afraid of the Philadelphia Phillies. I really am.
Well, when I think of the Braves, my childhood was, the Tom Glavine, Greg Maddux, Steve Avery, John Smoltz. Like, come on, that pitching rotation is all time.
Listen, that's when they came on. Now, this may be the best team of all time, but when they were on back in the day, on the Superstation, Ted Turner would run it twice.
Yeah.
And my dumb ass would watch it the second time and go like, well, maybe they're going to win this time. But I love sports. I love sports, and life is good. And so, but I want to come to DC because I want to change the name of the. Is it the Commanders or
the Commanders now? But I don't even. Magic Johnson and Harris, the new ownership, have hinted they might change it again. I don't know. What do you want to change it to?
Well, I go to church with Magic Johnson, West Angeles Church of God in Christ in Los Angeles. I want to change it to the Washington DMVs.
The DMVs. There you go.
I like that. That's everybody in the neighborhood.
That's what we call ourselves around here. It's the three regions all in one.
We're in this together. We're in this thing together. Yeah. Have you won a game yet? By the time I get there, maybe they would have won a game.
The Commanders? Oh, they did. We won 2 so far this year.
You won 2?
Yeah, aren't we 2-3? I believe now. We got blown
maybe
out.
2-2, 2-3. It's 5 games, 2-3. Yeah, that's what it is.
But yes, the DMVs. That's great. Well, yeah. So I grew up in the DMV area in Maryland. But so let's tell everyone your origin story. You were born in Atlanta in '51. Like, who was big in the comedy game back then? Like, who was your idol?
Oh, I come up with old school. I come up with the Red Fox and Moms Mabley, Richard Pryor, Johnny Carson, Rodney Dangerfield, Joan Rivers. Oh my goodness, I'm so blessed, man, to have come up with these older guys. And I would take their jokes back to school. And I wanted to be a comedian since 6 years old. I would take those jokes back, and people would laugh. And anytime you make a classroom laugh, that's your payoff right there. I was not the class clown, but I just love making people laugh. And I have, to this day, I hope you enjoy your work. I know you do, because I can tell. I can see the smile on the radio.
Oh, you tell me? I get to interview people like you every day.
Listen, this is just so great because, I thank God. I want to be a comedian since 6 years old. And I thank God that my passion is comedy. And I choke up because I'm so blessed, because all I do is lie. I love to lie. I got the greatest job in the world. But everything is a lie anyway. So that's why, if you're not lying, you're not living. If you just look around all your life, you have been lied to. I'm going to talk about that at the Improv.
Oh, you're going to explain what that means at the Improv? All right. You got to
come out.
It's
all about a lying. Even in the courts right now, everybody's in the courts. Why do they have Bibles in the courtroom? You swear to tell the truth. That's why we're here in the first place. Somebody's lying. Everything is a lie. Sometimes I can't turn TV on without hearing a lie. One-a-day vitamins, that's a lie. You go to get the one-a-day vitamins, what does the instructions say? Take 2. It doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah.
There's a lie about Cheesecake Factory. Yeah. That's not a factory. That's a restaurant, Yeah.
All those ads for drugs on TV, all the family's happy and smiling, and then under bottom, it might kill you. This give you this, and this.
Everybody lies, even the game shows. You ever see people, the contestants on the game show? And I'm married to my beautiful husband. You don't like that man. You're trying to win some money so you can get the hell out of, leave him and those 2 little ugly ass kids. Everything is a lie. So that's why I love lying. At the church, the preacher tells the congregation, I won't be long. In the black church, that's a good hour.
I won't be long. Yeah. And then you're up, down on the kneelers. You've done 2 shots of communion.
Oh, that's why I don't go to Catholic church. Ooh, I went to Catholic church with a friend of mine. I said, my knees hurt, and I can't, if I get up one more time.
Yeah, that's a workout.
When I came to my Catholic friend came to my church, he said, will y'all shut up? Everybody can't talk. Amen. Yes. Hey, it's as loud as hell.
That's great. Well, you can tell that comedy is what you've wanted to do since you were a kid. I mean, here it is. Look at it. You're laying it bare right here. So then tie it into, we opened talking about Jerry, but how did tie it into how you got from Atlanta to then, I guess, Ohio for Akron College, and then how'd you make your way to New York?
Well, if you're going to be a comedian, you have to go to New York. That's when you really learn comedy in New York City. But I had to go to college because some of those older guys in vaudeville kept talking and mentioning that sometimes they didn't have food to eat. And I said, the hell with that. So I decided I need to get a few degrees to, 1 degree to have something to fall back on. And went up there and I messed around and got a degree. And my first degree was in transportation, then marketing and advertising, then radio and television broadcasting. I sold rags right out of college. I sold the ShamWow before it had a name back in 1972. Can you believe that?
The original ShamWow?
The original ShamWow. I wish it was blue back in the day. It was blue back. Look, I buy so much crap on radio at night. You can't see me, but I'm holding up a ShamWow right now.
I can see. Well, whoever's watching the interview online can see that. That's great. So it's literally a rags to riches story.
It really is. And then I started
ShamWow to riches.
I sold rags in New York City, and then I sold advertising on the buses in New York City. And I was also vice president of the world's largest advertising agency. Everything at Times Square, the billboards, the spectaculars, 10 top markets in America. I was vice president of that company. And I went into the comedy club to put, I found Seinfeld at Catch a Rising Star. He was a little Jewish boy at the end of the bar, and I was a little black boy. It's only me and him in there. And he got sick one night, and I had a car, and I took him down to the only drugstore open all night and got him some NyQuil. I was a doctor. Everybody's a doctor. It says take one capful. I took a capful. I said, you take 2. And the next day he felt fine. So we've been friends for 47 years.
You drove him to the pharmacy, and Witchy Woman didn't come on that night, did it?
No,
Jerry wouldn't have made it.
It was an all-night pharmacy in New York City, and only one was open back in the day on 53rd and Lex. And every kind of disease anybody had, they were in there at 3 o'clock in the morning, coughing and everything. It was crazy. But 47 years we've been best friends, and then we started to Catch a Rising Star, the comic strip in New York City, and just love what I do, and still telling jokes and still doing everything, and got a new TV show coming out. Did you know that?
Plug it.
I have a TV show coming out around Christmas time. It's called Clean Slate. I wanted to reboot Sanford & Son, so I went to Norman Lear. We've been friends for 40 years. He's been wanting me to do so much. And I finally got around to him. I said, okay, Norman, I want to reboot Sanford & Son. Basically, I just wanted to hear, yeah, because that would be a hit right there. You're going to look,
Give it to me. You hear me? Hear that, Elizabeth? I'm coming to join you.
I'm coming to join you. And it's almost like that. I have a friend of mine, Thelma Hopkins. She is my Aunt Esther.
Whoa.
So we're fighting going. The show is called Clean Slate. Now, the basis of the show, since the strike is over, I can talk about it, is that Norman didn't want to do the real Sanford & Son. I said, and then a friend of mine has a kid that is trans, I don't know how do I say it?
Transgender?
And, you have to be careful how you say it these days, Okay, let's put it like this. My son left Alabama, my old black man living in Alabama, left my house after high school, went to New York City to do his thing like most people do. You go to New York City to be who you are or what you want to do. But 27 years later, I get a knock at the door, and because the day before I got an email said, Dad, I'm coming home. And so beautiful lady at the door. I'm going, hey, Avon lady, or the Watchtower lady, whatever. This is not a good time. My son is coming home right now. And she said, Dad, it's me. And I said, are you Edwin's wife? Dad, it's me. And I'm just going, you have to leave. Dad, it's me. And then it hit me.
Welcome home. Yeah.
But I'm an old black man. I don't understand this. It's transgendered, and I have to deal with it. So it was a good thing for me to be educated, for America to be educated. And my daughter is Laverne Cox. So it's going to be a great show. She's so good. She's so good. And we have to learn how to love people, live and let live. You got to get used to the pronouns,
So that's all the storyline of Clean Slate is what you're describing. That's all the storyline.
You can start over, Clean Slate. Everybody can start over. She's teaching me how to live, and I'm learning more about her. She's learning more about me.
Great. What platform is it going to be on?
It's going to be on Amazon worldwide. The big
Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Freebie.
Oh, Freebie. Oh, okay, yeah, and then that goes through Amazon. I think that Jury Duty show. Yeah, I've seen a couple good shows through the Freebie through Amazon. Nice.
Well, we hope to have a good time, and they tell me the show is good. I'm in, and they says I'm good. You can't. I don't know. I can't watch myself. But
well, wait. You mentioned Norman Lear. Gosh, I think he's over the century mark at this point. Bravo.
Yes, he's 101. He's 101.
Wow.
Yeah.
Him and Mel Brooks, they drank that eternal life, Holy Grail or something. They're doing
Sure.
great.
And the other guy, Carl Reiner, hung out with them. They all went to dinner every night together at
Right.
Carl's house.
Oh, legends. Well, you started writing for what? Not Sanford and Son, the one after Red Fox show.
Red Fox. It was called the Red Fox Variety Hour on. Well, you did some research. Most people don't know that. It was on
that's
ABC
my job.
A lot of people don't do their jobs well.
They don't.
I don't have to do my job well. I just have to show up. Listen, I don't have to. I just love telling you, I don't have to be funny. A lot of people go on stage not funny, and still get paid. So you don't have to do your, but it is good to do your job well.
Of course, yeah. Oh, yeah. I know you started at Red Fox show and you did the Comedy Store, and then how do you come up with the I Be Thinking routine?
I have no idea. I just come on when I be thinking, and now I'm doing a new one called It's All Lies. It's All Lies. Yeah. But I be thinking, what was I be thinking? I'm in the grocery store. I saw an item that said evaporated milk. And I be thinking, well, what the hell is in the can?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Because I be thinking something just probably clicked one time when I know it started in Las Vegas because my phrase used to be, it's a crazy world. I be thinking, now it's all lies. Yeah. It just every 10 years.
There's always a new one every couple years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love it. Well, I love that you always be thinking. And I mean, gosh.
I'll be thinking, everybody that's listening to this show, if you want to do something to enhance your life, laughter is healing for the soul. Yeah. You need to put some laughter in your life, no matter what you do, no matter how old you are. That's why I have hip hoppers, gangbangers, white people, black people, old people. Everybody come to my show. And the big thing is happening right now. The young people never seen their parents laugh. So these kids at that 35 years old are bringing their parents 50, and they've never seen their parents actually go crazy laughing and falling out. And I'm so proud of that because I talk about how nice that is, and also talk about the young kids and their music and, ASAP Rocky and all these new names. Yeah. And
I want to tell everybody, I have to ask you about Batman Forever because 95, well, not also that year, I think you just won the best male stand-up American Comedy Awards that same year, 95.
God, have you done some research?
Well, Robin Williams was the year before and after, I think, but you won 95. In that same year, you played the mayor of Gotham freaking City in Batman Forever. What was it like being on set with, Jim Carrey and all that? That must have been insane.
It was awesome. And you don't get to be on set with them all the time. You're just on set when you're shooting your shot. But since then, I have worked with Tommy Lee Jones again. We did a show with Morgan Freeman. It's called Just Getting Started. And man, is it nice to work with with Morgan Freeman and Tommy Lee Jones in the same movie. Oh my God. I'm so blessed to work with all the people I work with. Life is so good, man.
It really, really is. It really is. And I know you've done a Vegas residency. You got a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Soul Train Centric Comedy All-Star Awards. Like the accolades speak for themselves. Is there anything else you want to plug before we hop off here? I know we talked about.
I want to plug DC. If you haven't had any laughter in your life, a lot of people haven't been out since COVID or anything like that. You want to forget your bills. You want to forget your relationship problem. You need to come down and put a laugh. And it's on a great location. The DC Improv is at a great location. Normally I'm over in Atlantic City in the big room, but this is up close and personal, okay? So that is so good. Call and get your tickets now. I think it's DCImprov.com. You know how to do it. DC Improv, and you'll see my face there for October. And I guarantee you, you're going to laugh and you're going to feel. That's why they call me Dr. Wallace. I guarantee you feel better when you leave my show than you do when you leave the doctor's office. And I see all my patients at one time. You're never late.
Didn't it start as the Reverend Doctor's office at one of your first shows? And now it's just.
I used to be the Reverend Dr. George Wallace.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I would come out in a robe like an old black preacher, and I had the yellow pages. You're not old enough to remember the yellow pages.
I remember
right?
the yellow pages. I was just before they got rid of them.
The Good Book of Bell. That was my Bible. Whatever you need, look it up. It's in the book. The Good Book of Bell. I was watching a show yesterday I did in 1996. At the Hall of Fame up in at the Lucille Ball Theater in Jamestown, New York. And 1996, I did 35 minutes, and it's funny, and I have forgotten all those jokes, and I'm going to do them again. I have it up right now. Go to George Wallace TV and check me out. I got a lot of stuff I forgot to do that I'm going to bring it back. It's because these young kids never heard it, so if I bring it back, it's brand new.
Exactly. What's old is new. If you haven't heard it, it's brand new to them.
And I try to write evergreen material. That's the most important thing about George Wallace. Yeah. If I write a joke today, I want it to be funny in 2052.
Evaporated milk will be funny 10 years ago or 50 years from now.
That's so
It's funny.
true.
It's funny.
Yeah, yeah. And then every few years, every 4 years, I run for office, and I'm running for president this time again. And one of my first law I'm going to change is going to be Chick-fil-A is going to be open on Sunday. I don't give a damn what. That's the first law I'm passing, okay? And I got a lot more I'm going to do.
That's the whole platform.
Well, it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to talk about, I don't know what I'm doing. I take my legal pad out with me on stage, and so when I get to D.C., there's so much we can talk about, because unless you're stuck in one of those circles. What do you call those things where you just go around about?
Traffic circle. Well, in D.C., we got DuPont Circle. What was that movie? The American President with Michael Douglas and Annette Bening. They can't get out of DuPont Circle, I think.
That's exactly right.
Or that reminds me of Chevy Chase, the European Vacation, the Griswolds, remember? They're like, hey, kids, Big Ben, Parliament.
Well, let me say this. Had you gone to Washington, D.C. 30 years ago, you would go like, oh my, this is a hellhole. Today, that is a beautiful city. That whole DMV area is so nice. What is it called? Silver Springs. All of that. I used to live in Rockville, I used to live in Rockville.
What years were you, how long were you there?
1998, 1999, 97. I did radio there. Magic 102.3, Washington, D.C. I was at the Tom Joyner Morning Show. We were there, and right now I'll be on all this week on radio with somebody like yourself. I need to thank you, sir, for helping me get these tickets sold down at the Improv.
No, thank you for coming on the radio station. You kidding me? We should be the ones thanking you. Seriously. It goes in
Well,
that.
go ahead. I'm waiting.
Thank you. And I'm hoping this interview will be evergreen as well, other than the, plug in the comedy show. But the life story stuff's evergreen.
Well, listen, we got so much to talk about, and we have so much to be grateful about and for. Life is so good. I mean, it's so good to know you. I never met you before. And look, here we are laughing and having fun together. That's what life is all about.
Absolutely. Using technology that did not exist. It wasn't mainstream until basically COVID. Like a couple years ago, we probably wouldn't be Zooming like this. So life is true.
This is
life
true.
Is very good.
Yeah, and COVID was so bad. I was looking at a photo the other day. I live on the 25th floor, and my daughter came to visit me because I don't let anybody in. My daughter was downstairs in the parking lot across the street. And I waved at her ass, and I said, "This is social distancing. That's close as you're gonna get. Keep moving." But
wave from afar.
But we're here and we're laughing. We're having fun. Thank God for technology. Thank God for social media, and I love it all.
Absolutely, and thank God for you, George Wallace. Not WTOP's George Wallace, the comedian George Wallace, coming to the DC Improv October 20th and 21st. So everybody, get your tickets now. You gotta go. You gotta go.
You gotta go. I say laughter today, laughter tomorrow, laughter forever. George Wallace.
And he ties the governor, George Wallace, back in, but makes it funny. It's perfect.
I'm George Wallace. I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about
it. We love you, too. Hey, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it.
See ya.
Thanks so much for listening to Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. Our theme music is Scott Buckley's Clarion. Remember to give us a 5-star rating if you like what you hear. We'll see you next time.